Happy Wednesday. Welcome to MLB Picks Best Bets on Wednesday from Hosts Josh Inglis, Derek Carty, coming to you after a winning Tuesday. Good slate yesterday, Derek. I went 3 for 4. You went 3 for 5. I wanted some Nats at the end of the day. Didn't get it. We almost got the Logan Gilbert. That was a big price, but you were big price hunting yesterday. Came through. Good to see everybody there in the chat waiting. Always a little busier after winning days. I seem to notice that trend sometimes, but appreciate everybody there. The Heat's there. Getaway day today. 3 games on the slate. I think the MLB is just pretty much punted Thursdays by the looks of it. I don't understand the 3-game slates, but it's becoming a common thing, Derek.
Yeah, certainly seems like it. Be nice if they spread them out a little bit more, but it is what it is.
Let's go. Happy to see everybody there in the chat. Good morning to you all. The rundown today will be Derek dropping his releases from the bat, then me and Joe trading some shots, and then we'll go on to Thursday's show. Release procedure, if you're new to the things, we'll tell you the book, we'll tell you the secondary book, we'll tell you the game, we'll tell you the market, we'll tell you the player, we'll tell you the over-under. Let us know where it's moving. Let us know where you're getting it. Let us know if there's a better price out there, because these things move. It'd be interesting if you guys could see the before and after. We usually get things around 7:30, and sometimes nothing makes the card from the 7:30. But today we got some. Derek said the board was better yesterday, but we do have some things, and some late things came in. So let's get to one of those late ads because the markets are opening. We're at 365. You're looking at about a 5 to 10 point difference everywhere else. I know DraftKings is plus 105. We're going Red Sox versus Twins. We're going pitcher strikeouts. And we get our number. Let's go. Zebby Matthews, under 5.5 strikeouts, plus 115. Minnesota starting pitcher Zebby Matthews, under 5.5 strikeouts, plus 115 here at 365. Plus 105 at DraftKings. I know. Where's the buy price here, Derek, and the projection for him? 79 pitches and 5.12 strikeouts.
Yeah, I'd say the buy price is probably around even money. I'm definitely fine with a 110 or a 105. Even money's okay. This one's a little scary because he is a young guy. He throws hard. He has good stuff. The strikeouts have been good in a limited major league sample size so far. They were good in the minors. Really what this one is about more than anything else is that leash that you mentioned. They keep him on a very short leash, and that's kind of what we're hoping for here. 75, 80 pitches, and he doesn't get there because of that. That's really what we're counting on. And that's kind of been his norm. So hopefully that's the case today.
Okay, Zebby, sub 80. Let's go there. Early one there. Game number 2. We're at Bet 365. Last time I checked, 5 or 6 points off FanDuel, 10 points off at Hard Rock. Pittsburgh, San Francisco. Let's go. Pitcher outs. Number still there. Good stuff. Michael Burrows under the sweaty number of 14.5 plus 140, Derek. 14 is scary. 14.5 is about as scary as it gets. I don't think until you get to the playoffs, you probably don't see anything under 14, but plus 140 here, the projection you have on him is somewhere around in that 76 to 80 pitches and 13 outs here at Oracle.
Yeah, the 14.5 is always a scary one. They have shown a willingness to pull him before 5 innings in a couple starts already. He's a guy who is kept on a very short leash pitch-wise. He's like a 75 pitch kind of guy usually. They've let him get up to 85 or 90 a couple times, but he's also had some in the 60s. We're hoping more for that, especially if he gets hit around a little bit, that we get that quick hook in the 4th inning. We're getting some good plus money on it to make it worth the risk, but it's certainly going to be a sweaty one anytime you bet a 14.5.
Nick Porto mentioning Pittsburgh likes to go to the pen early all the time. Let's hope that holds true here on Wednesday. Keep riding 365. This outlier price is insane, but I still think the other prices at these other books that we'll mention in a bit are buys as well. We're going early game. We are going to Camden Yards, Toronto, Baltimore. We're going pitcher walks. We're going Dean Kramer over 1.5. Let's hope our number is still there. That's crazy. 190 is crazy. Yeah, I haven't seen numbers like this in a long time, but we're going Dean Kramer over 1.5 walks, plus 190 here, plus 190 at SIA, plus 150 at Hard Rock. I think the plus 140, Derek, is a buy at DraftKings. And I say that because I bought it at that price because I don't have this out, but I still liked it at plus 140. And then I was shopping around. I'm like, how are you 50 points off at this market at Bet 365 for a guy who, what do I have? It's like 16. I think he's about 16 straight starts where he has at least one walk. So the floor is pretty high for Kramer in terms of the walks. And I think he's hitting this at 60% over that stretch. Add in the Jays, who take a ton of pitches and have one of the best walk rates in baseball over the last little while. And coming off a bullpen doubleheader day where they used some arms and lost Dominguez, he might have to go 18 outs.
He definitely might, and that would be great for us today if that's what we see. I mean, plus 190 for anyone on this market. You talk about it all the time. Like if you can get plus money on these on either side, you're going to be interested because they're close to 50-50 calls. The bat's projecting 1.49 outs for Kramer here. That's only about a 45% win rate when you account for distributions and whatnot, but that's still plenty good here.
Milo just brought up probably what the actual fair price is when he's saying minus 129 at Novik.
Yeah. I mean, it just, I don't really understand it either. Like you said, especially that it can be this far off the market. It's a good one.
Yeah. The only thing that scares me about this, and there's obviously a lot more checks and X's in this spot, is getaway game afternoon, and Toronto just kind of throws away at bats to get out of town. I mean, that's a very subjective thing. It's tough to quantify, but sometimes that happens.
Yeah, Toronto really doesn't walk. They're one of the worst matchups for this. But
hey, last 14 days, top 4%. I mean, they've lost some good at bat. Like they've lost George Springer, they've lost Alejandro Kirk, and they've put in some guys who kind of don't have a ton of talent, but kind of a little scrappier. See a lot of pitches. Yeah, I got limited there for bets just like these. It's going to happen. I get random Nathan Eovaldi under outs today. Boom, put it in, reviewed. You're like, why that one? I don't understand. I don't think they have traders. I don't know. We talk about it like, should you buy something so off the market sometimes? Because it's going to
flag you.
It's going to flag. But
yeah.
You're never going to avoid the flags. Like you can't dodge them sooner or later.
Yeah. Eventually they notice. You just do the best you can to stay under the radar as long as you can. Certainly these don't help, but you also want to make your money while you can. It's a tough line to walk.
I know. If you want, like, if you're really that concerned in that spot and you think that plus 190 because it's like 50 points off market, find a very easy, very high probable thing to add to it.
Yeah.
Math being the sense. Yes.
Yeah. Parlays are your friend. Even if you're just adding something that's neutral expected value, you're still probably doing your account a service.
Yeah. It's a topic all on its own, and is keeping counts alive. And I think at the end of the day, you can't. I think we've established that. Yeah. It's inevitable, sadly. But yeah, hopefully just in a spot where you can have plenty of outs. I'm exactly with Matt right there. My DK account is the same thing. They review it. they kind of keep my limits to that 200, and they just kind of let me bet, which is I'm happy with. But once that one gone, then I'm struggling. We go bet 365. We're going to a player walk market. This is 20 points off at Fanatics, and I think 80 points off at DraftKings, or one other book that it's available at. We're going to go Seattle at Sacramento. Batter walks, and if you know, you know. And we get our guy, Josh Naylor, at a good price, kind of in that buy price of plus 300 almost, and that's where the Fanatics price is, facing Springs. And like I said, in my write-up, it says in that plus 300 wheelhouse. What do you got for Naylor here?
It's the same as every time we do Naylor.
Yeah.
They don't price his walks right. He's been profitable. It keeps showing value. I will keep going back to it when it shows this kind of value. Plus 320 for a play that projects to win about 35% of the time. Just sign me up. Like, it's not like Naylor's a high walk guy, but he's not a low walk guy either. And just like, he is what he is. And I don't understand why he keeps getting priced like this. So just keep rolling with it.
I've never heard that joke with the Nailers, by the way. Well done in the chat. From Fox Mulder, appreciate it. Here we go again. Josh Naylor. Now, we're at 365. We're at hitter strikeout, so it's a tough one to find.
Yeah.
But we're at Colorado, Cleveland. No one has alerted me to the coolest name in baseball right now. Dominican. Warming Burnable. These guys had faces. I don't know if Warming Burnable would have a face or an avatar, but we're taking under 0.5 hitter strikeouts at plus 210. Warming Burnable. I don't know. Unless Richard Fitz changed his name to Dick Fitz, I don't think Warming Burnable's getting beat here right now for name of 2025 in the MLB, but projects out of the 6th spot, Colorado facing a lefty short leash guy, Colby Allard. So he could be gone once the righty comes in, I'm assuming.
Yeah, definitely some pinch hit risk here. And one of these guys that is just a low strikeout guy to begin with. Not like crazy low, but his plate discipline is above average, doesn't strike out a ton. Again, facing a pitcher who doesn't strike a lot of guys out and could be on a short leash. He's been showing value in this market pretty much every day since he's been called up. And they keep pricing him around the same. So, this looks good for a play that is projected as a 52% winner. It's a 50-50 play. It's a coin flip at plus 210.
Good question from Yahtzee, because Allard doesn't have any markets. So you'll have to look at your raw data. Do you have the pitch projection for the lefty?
Yeah, I think it's about 65. Made some starts.
So it might be one of those wait and see market where he opens.
Yeah. If you guys notice some Allard markets pop up, definitely let me know. It'll be interesting. Plenty of uncertainty with how deep he goes. It's been a while since he's gone more than like 30 pitches, but he did make some starts earlier in the year. Has been a starter in the past. 65 seems about right to me on average, but yeah, I'd be curious to see what markets look like for him.
Starting to see a trend there in the chat with the boys saying books opening just over markets in other things. It's kind of the FanDuel format, right? Because like FanDuel is all over markets. You can't see the margins between the props, right? Like if you can see minus 115 and minus 115 beside each other, whatever that's 5.8 or 5.4% margin. You just can't tell. And I think that's probably where we'd end up going, right? Like an array of player prop markets that you can only bet overs.
God, I hope that's not where we're headed.
But doesn't it make sense?
Makes sense for the books, sure. For like bettors,
if you were in charge of risk, there, like, wouldn't that be like, yeah, screw bettors? Like why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but then there's always going to be the chance that a book is like, all right, well, we can differentiate ourselves now because everyone else is too scared to put out these unders. We'll put out the unders and we'll try to scoop up that, that market share. But
And then they'll limit you. Like it did. You just betting unders is a flag. We talk about flags. Literally, just betting unders is a flag.
Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate.
And I don't know, other books like I know Botano in Ontario, you can click your max button and see where your limits are, because some books won't let you see your limits, which is
that should at least be like
for sure
or something.
Because
like,
there's another flag. There's
Yeah.
another flag. Like, let me bet within my limits and tell me what those limits are, because if I try to go over, you're probably going to flag me there too. Jeez. All right. We're just getting at it. Just let us. And I don't know where you are on this, Derek, but like, do you think bettors have the right to bet at every book?
I see the arguments from the book side, but I really kind of think, like you should have the right to bet at every book.
Okay. It sounds like a ridiculous argument, but there is a case for the other side as well.
There is definitely a case for the other side. Like, it's not an obvious one, but it's there. But I don't know. I just think if you're putting out lines, you should be allowing everyone to bet on them.
Says the guy who makes his own lines and then bets against those other lines. It makes sense that you think like that.
I might be biased.
Yeah, slightly biased. Anyway, I hopefully you have all the player prop projections ready for Thursday night's Hall of Fame game, regardless of who's coming in, and your Trey Lance starting projections per snap. And maybe we can get some Trey Lance under rushing attempts. That will never happen on Thursday. All right. I appreciate it. Good day yesterday. Good rack today. We got all our numbers, and you'll be back here Friday for more picks for the bat. Appreciate you, Derek. We'll see you Friday, pal.
Have a good one.
All right. That's in. Let's go. Lots of people watching today. The chat is buzzing. Absolutely love it. Talking about how to keep your books alive and whether or not books actually should allow you to bet or not bet. But let's go. Let's bring in our man, Joe Osborne. On a Wednesday, the man himself. It's nice to share some baseball picks with you, and we're gonna do some Hall of Fame action coming up later today. I know it's baseball time, but football dominates.
It's kind of back. I think we get all excited for the NFL preseason, and we'll put the game on, and then we get a couple series into the game, and you're like, this fucking sucks. But it's football. It's kind of a little bit of an appetizer. So yeah, I'm pumped to be digging into football, and I'm pumped for this board tonight in Major League Baseball as well. Do you say there's only 3 games tomorrow?
Thursdays have just been like nothing. So like guys might be just mailing it in on Wednesdays because Thursday's a travel day and there ain't much to do.
Trade deadline tomorrow though, right?
Yes, but yeah, we saw it. I believe the week before there was one early game that they had to reschedule, but they also had 3 games too. So interesting point. Anything you want to see at the trade deadline right now? Anything you got your eyes on, or is it just going to be kind of a letdown?
I'm a sucker for the big splash. They go a little bit too crazy with the big time trades in the NBA where superstars get traded all the time. But yeah, I just like to be surprised by something. I'm a Blue Jays fan, of course. So, they bring in a buddy from the Orioles yesterday. I'd like to see them bring in another bat. So we'll see what they do.
Please get a leadoff stick and let it be Stephen Kwan, because Nathan Lucas could not be the Jays leadoff guy right now. Seeing some guys in the chat. Let's go. Shouting out Joe. We got, I got 4. You got 4. I had to drop one because Derek poached one of my plays, but it was the plus 190 walk. So I'm going in this spot. Arizona, Detroit, under 8.5, even money. It's like I said, it's a Wednesday. I always have to pick the Wednesday afternoon getaway game under, with nobody's playing tomorrow, with both of these teams traveling. And Joe's going to get to the Arizona pitcher in Rin Nelson, who has been absolutely electric. And the Heat is down in Detroit. And the D-backs, I was looking at the lineup last night because I needed some runs for them. This team might have quit on baseball. One of the worst lineups after Corbin Carroll. 4, 5, 6 English. Someone in the chat said English under 0.5 hits at plus money. Great play, because the middle of that lineup is absolutely horrible. Arizona's going to the West Coast after this game. Detroit's going to Philadelphia. Mail it in Wednesday for both teams. Give me the under 8.5 even money.
Yes, my man, we are aligned. You alluded to it. Ryan Nelson on the bump here for the D-backs, and I'm going to take him to go under 2.5 earned runs in this one. So he's on his best stretch of the season right now, maybe the best stretch of his career. He's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 7 of his last 8 starts, 1 or fewer in 3 of his last 4 on the road. This includes a great start in Toronto where he allowed just 1 hit and 1 earned run in that game. And I've been on this since the second half got underway here. Nice output for the Tigers yesterday, absolutely, but bigger sample size since teams have returned from the All-Star break. One of the coldest offenses in all of baseball, 29th in OPS versus right-handed pitching. So we'll take Nelson to go under 2.5 earned runs.
Seeing you guys there in the chat. Egg on my face. Better number available after. Looks like someone hit that over. Now 9 even money, basically. Go get that. Still like it. I think Arizona could just turn over today and win. Nelson holds the fort down. Ohtani on the bump. Great American Ballpark. Hitters Park, but what do you do in Hitters Park? You got to miss bats. Shohei over 4.5 strikeouts plus 125. He hasn't gone more than 3 innings. We've seen it. They're handling him with baby gloves, but Dave Roberts, here is the key nugget, said he doesn't have a piggyback pitcher behind him today for the first time since he's gone. That could indicate a longer leash. Could see 4. The bat projection is 4.5 strikeouts at 60 pitches. So this is a buy right down to probably plus 105. The Reds strike out a ton. And like I said, great American Ballpark, great Hitters Park, got some heat. Got to miss some bats and keep that ball out of play. 4 innings, 5 Ks. That's what I want to go there. The Brewers, best team in baseball. Another afternoon game. Getting a good price, like I said, on the best team in baseball. Give me your Brewers take here, Joe.
Yeah, how about a good old-fashioned full game money line bet here on the Brew Crew over the Cubs, minus 118 odds on this one. So Freddie Peralta just lights out at home here, guys. He has a 1.55 ERA at home this season. He's also been lights out in day starts, ERA of 2.29. Also very solid against the Cubs here this season. He's faced them twice. 3 total earned runs, 6 total hits allowed in those 2 starts. Chicago hitters below average versus right-handed pitching lately. Shota Imanaga on the bump here for the Cubs. This is a guy that I typically like. I don't know, though. He's could be in rough form coming off an awful start against the White Sox of all teams. He allowed 7 earned runs and 12 hits in that game. Milwaukee hitters, a bit of a small sample size, but a small sample size does need to start somewhere. 38 combined ABs against them, an 860 OPS. Then a massive edge here with the bullpens here. The Brew Crew, one of the best bullpens in all of Major League Baseball. 3rd in ERA in the second half here. The Cubs really struggling, 27th in that category. Let's go Milwaukee.
Yeah, interesting spot where you have great pitching, great bullpen versus one of the best offenses in baseball. And we're at that time of the year where pitching and defense seems to pay off a little more than being a big hitting team. Jared King being active, St. Brewers on the run line, plus 175 looks attractive for a sprinkable. You do you, Jared King. Let's keep it rolling on my side. Texas Halos. Nathan Eovaldi under 17.5 outs, plus 120, buying this to plus 110, a little wiggle room on my end. But there's not a lot of good plays on the outs markets today, I found, but I'll take a little swing here at plus money. For a guy who got his start scratched 2 starts ago, back issue, came out, threw 86 pitches, 15 outs, not efficient, threw a season high 4 walks. So maybe that carries over. I'll take the risk on that at plus 120. We know he can be efficient, but can kind of flare up. Back issues. He's had a long career. He's had injury history. He only had 1 clean inning in that game out of the 5 and has a road start in Anaheim. Decent hitting conditions today. Might not get beat up, but he could be a guy sitting around 85 to 90 pitches. So I'll take that plus money, but not too far. Plus 110 him there. Another guy who could be on the trade block, Canadian. I believe he's Canadian. At least, yeah, it's just because his dad was playing for the Jays, right?
The pride of Port Hope, Ontario.
There you go. Big name in Canada baseball. Cal Quantrill, trade rumors. Could be one more start here for the Marlins facing the Cards could be a spot here where he's got plenty of outs for your play. Could pitch well, and they might even pull him early just because there might be a trade.
Yeah, short leash. That's part of the angle here for Cal. The thrill, Quantrill here going in St. Louis tonight. He's on a pretty good roll here. He's allowed 2 earned runs or less in 5 of his last 6 starts. Just 5 total base runners allowed across his last 11 innings of work. And we talked about that short leash. Under 70 pitches in back-to-back starts here, despite pitching pretty good in those games. He has not seen the 90 pitch mark since June 11th. He's taking on a struggling St. Louis offense right now. They're 28th in OPS versus righties. Since the break, they've scored 2 runs or less they've scored 2 runs or less in 3 of their last 4 starts. So let's back the thrill. Quantrill, this guy deserves to be on a good team. How do you go from the Rockies to the Marlins? That's just bad luck.
Miami could get rid of a few arms today, and I think a lot of people would be happy. Edward Cabrera is, I think, the best one that you can get out of that group, and not your boy, Sandy Alcantara, who I think he's padded your pockets quite well this year there, Joe.
Yeah, it backed off. I mean, we were taking that under 17.5 outs for like the first 2.5 months of the season, but then they got in a pattern. They would just leave him in. He'd be allowing, 4, 5, 6 earned runs. Yeah, let's get our 100 pitches out of him. I think he pitched yesterday, and I think he pitched all right. So, yeah, I've been backing off of that lately. But, yeah, that was a cash cow for the first probably 2.5 months of the season.
Nice. Someone, Matt's asking, as I'm bringing up the wild card race. Yankees to miss playoffs plus 500. Is it worth it? Let me work it. It's silly there. Like if Tampa Bay and Cleveland kind of get back into this, Texas is just a game back, right? Cleveland's 3.5 with what's happening with that organization. You think they're probably going to sell. Things are bad. Things are only going to get worse. So the only team that could really knock off the Yankees is Texas, and they're 2 games up. So plus 500 seems I might need longer odds than that, but kind of settled. Tampa Bay could get in it. Wouldn't we all love New York not to make the playoffs, Joe?
No, I don't like the Yankees, but it's better TV when you have the Yankees. Yeah. It's a great environment at Yankee Stadium. It was funny to see them collapse there in Game 5 of the World Series, the inning from hell that they had. Aaron Judge gets up with the bases loaded, watching him strike out in a big spot in the playoffs. I absolutely love it. But I give me the Yankees over the Rays in the playoffs from a TV viewing experience 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. I do not want to see the Tampa Bay Rays sneak into the playoffs. Boring.
How spoiled were we last year in last year's playoffs, in last year's World Series?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like if baseball, if they can set it like we talk about how it's not professional wrestling. They're going to take the top 2 guys and put them in the main event every single time. And with Major League Baseball, the Rangers versus the D-backs, like that must have been a disappointment from them from like a marketing perspective and TV ratings. But yeah, every single year, if they can do Yankees, Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, throw the Red Sox in there, get the Cubs in there once in a while, the Phillies are good for TV. But yeah, that was fantastic.
The Jays would do well for the ratings as well. In one side of
that, maybe up here in Canada.
That's it. We'll see, but I don't know if we're going to get Judge versus Ohtani again. I keep rolling. Speaking of a guy who's been to the shows, just can't seem to get things going. Yu Darvish over 1.5 walks, minus 110, buying this to minus 120, projects for 84 pitches and nearly 2 walks from Derek's number. It's just been ugly for the starter, who has another tough matchup versus the Mets at home. 9+ ERA, more than a hit per inning, 9 walks in those 16+ innings since returning. And in what I believe it's his 5th start today, should go longer. So there's a bit of a leash issue in terms of increasing, but he's been hitting this at 65 to 70 pitches and just expecting him to get a little more run in terms of pitch count today in a tough matchup. I got to bet on this. I got to bet against this guy until he turns things around, because it's been bad for jumping things around. And finally, you're on a late game here. The Halos, 4 games out of the wild card spot. Rangers 1 game back. Massive game between these 2 clubs. What do you got from the Halos?
I have saved the best for the last. This is the official Joe Osborne play of the day. We're going to go Angels team total under 3.5 minus 104. Nate Eovaldi, you see him in the picture there. He's a big reason for this bet. So yeah, he might have a shorter than typical leash. We know you're on the under for his outs recorded, but he's just been fantastic. This is a nothing short of legendary. Let's call it what it is. So he has a 1.26 ERA on the road this season. Let's point that out first. That's across 9 starts. In these 9 starts, the opponent has scored 3 or less in 8 of the 9 games. He's having a month, absolutely fantastic. 4 starts, a 0.38 ERA, 1 run allowed across 23.2 innings of work. You got to look at the bullpen because this is a full game bet. He's backed by a bullpen that ranks 6th in ERA since the All-Star break. Angels, 26 in OPS since the All-Star break, so they're cold right now. He faced them back on July 8th, so just a couple of weeks ago. He allowed 0 earned runs across 6. Texas won that game 13-1. So we're going to go under on the team total 3.5.
All right. 8 picks there right to you on a Wednesday, plus all the releases from Derek Carty. Back again tomorrow, same time. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow's Joe hosting. Tomorrow's Gary Sheffield Jr. talking about his team without his number 1 player. Should be an interesting conversation with Gary. I know, right? Like,
damn
do
Yankees.
you think that arm's more injured than maybe we're worried about than maybe 15 or 10 days?
For Aaron Judge, yeah. I mean, he's had some bad injuries before, and you got to wonder how this is going to impact the MVP race, right? Because that was the big talking point for me when we saw Aaron Judge as like this minus money favorite. What was he, like minus 1,000 or something insane, like early in the season? And you talk about it, and same for Ohtani. All it takes is an extended stint on the DL to cut into those odds and potentially take the award away from him, right? Because if a guy misses like 20, 25 games, you know, that's a pretty big chunk of the season, right?
Yeah, especially Cal Raleigh leads the league in home runs. Matt talking about him dropping the fly ball, bases loaded, but don't forget he had that hit. He also had a great catch at the wall earlier in that game. But
still,
that's
what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do as a big-time superstar,
I know,
right? Like
the most routine fly ball line out right at you. And that inning is still so funny, right? The throw to third, they missed. It just was an absolute collapse.
I know. I kind of feel bad for him though, because it's so much harder in baseball than I think like hockey or basketball, where you can get into the flow of a game. You don't really have time to stop and think. Whereas in baseball, you're sitting there, you're in the on-deck circle, you're probably in your head a little bit, you're thinking that you're struggling, then you step up to the plate, maybe you're hearing it from the fans a little bit. So it's such a big mental part, and I think it's such a big hurdle to try to overcome. And it's just, you know, he carries that with him throughout the playoffs. So I would like to see him get into the playoffs and struggle once again, because I am a Blue Jays fan.
Yes, no one remembers that drop if Cole actually gets to first base on that play. But yeah, there was a lot. That whole inning was just, I don't know if you guys remember, because we're Jays fans, but the Jays Texas series where things just fell apart, right? Remember Russ Martin throws the ball and it hits the batter in the head, a play I've still never seen in baseball.
Yeah, the umpire blew that, because didn't he call timeout on that, but he still allowed the run? Is that
it was? Yeah, it was about as messy, but hopefully that's where we're going back as Jays fans, to games that mean as much as that. Go get someone, because Nathan Lucas and Will Wagner and Ernie Clement are not all on an MLB playoff roster. I apologize. Great guys are getting us there, but we need some big names in that lineup, especially with some guys out. And I hope Springer isn't down for a long time either. But Joe, great stuff on Wednesday. Back Thursday. Covers his MLB best bets on Wednesday in the books. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 9:15.